All-Ireland hurling final between Cork and Galway in his 7th championship season as an inter-county referee. The second of this season's Guinness All-Ireland senior hurling semi-finals is now on, with Clare having won the toss, deciding to play from right to left. Numerous switches already happening. Donald Grady of the information.
Well, interestingly enough, Niall Gilligan has gone over to right, half forward, and you know, that may be because he had Tommy Walsh and all sorts of trouble 2 years ago, albeit that was in the corner, but they may feel that Niall Gilligan will have something over Tommy Walsh here.
This ball dropping in around the Kilkenny goalmouth, flicked away by Tommy Walsh, comes outside for his Tony Carmody, trying to make a little bit of angle for himself, took too many steps, and that's going to be a free out for Kilkenny. Down at the opposite end, I can tell you that Henry Shefflin has gone to the edge of the square to be marked by Brian Lohan. Martin Comerford is playing out at the half-forward line, and it looks like Owen Larkin has gone centre half-forward.
And indeed, Marty, Eddie Brennan has gone right half, and Michael Rice has gone into the corner. So, you know, I suppose we spoke about that beforehand, and, you know, Seamus Roach, the referee there, he's very, very hard on steps, and Tony Carmody had a chance to get a point and missed out.
Here's the first test for the Clare defence. Comes all the way to Shefflin! A goal for the Kilkenny Cats after 1 minute and 15 seconds. The hopping ball misjudged by the fullback Brian Lohan. Watch it here. It came in, seemed to fool the fullback, and pulled on by Henry Shefflin. Spectacular start by Kilkenny, and the worst start for the challengers. That's what Clare were dreaming of, getting a good start. Now they're tested their mettle and their character right from the beginning. Another ball in for Brian Lohan. Henry Shefflin in there to try and upset him. Referee Seamus Roach from Tipperary claims he was pulling across him, so it's a free in for Kilkenny.
Well, Marty, Clare can't afford to give away frees like this. Henry Shefflin was heading out to the sideline. I know he may have gained possession, but he just still have to turn and hit it over the bar, and this is giving him a simple chance now. You know, 40 metres out, just to the right of the goal, and he'll certainly point this.
He scored a goal and 25 points in 3 games coming into this, and in this All-Ireland semi-final, he already has a goal and a point. Puck out is very, very quickly taken by Davy Fitzgerald. Over to the far side. Battling there with the yellow helmet is Derek Quinn. And more importantly, coming out with it is John Tennyson from Carrickshock in County Kilkenny. Wonderful catch by Eddie Brennan. Chasing after him was Jerry Quinn, and Brennan leaves him for dead. Going straight through, taking a shot off the crossbar. Lohan is there. Powering his way out, trying to lay it out to somebody. Jonathan Clancy is back there for Clare. And from Clarecastle, hooked. And Kilkenny settling quickly. This ball sent into the centre. Sean McMahon got a touch to it. Eddie Brennan is battling there. Tries to lay it over to this side, where once again it's Henry Shefflin. King Henry, as Cyril Farrell calls him. And the King has certainly upset Clare. And there's now a public ticking there for the fullback. A little bit of jersey pulling, which referee Seamus Roach spotted.
Well, Kilkenny, you know, we spoke about the way they moved around Galway, and there again, Henry Shefflin way out for the ball. They're moving Brian Lohan away from the square where he's most comfortable, and another silly little free on him here, and he, you know, he'll get this one. And this is not the start that Clare wanted. They wanted to keep Kilkenny scoreless for the first 5 or 10 minutes, and it looks like Kilkenny now will be on a roll.
Goal and 2 points in the top left-hand corner of your television screen. All contributed by one Henry Shefflin. 2 points from frees and a goal from play. Derek Ling is there for Kilkenny. Coming through the middle is James Fitzpatrick. Switch there for the quarter-final, although he was named at centre-half forward. It comes to James Ryle, giving it plenty of air, but just going to the wrong side of the pucks. And it's quite noticeable that Davy Fitzgerald is anxious to take the puck outs rather quickly. Changes the direction this time. Goes straight down the middle. Oh, fabulous catch. There was a little pull in the air by the Clare man, but credit John Tennyson going up with that big left-hand pull, and it was like a magnet. Just seemed to suck it in right into the palm.
Well, I think, you know, Davy Fitz has been criticised in the past for long puck outs. He tried to find Gilligan with the first one, and Gilligan had come over the left-hand side. I think he may be better off if he dropped him into the middle of the field.
John Tennyson's free, picked up by Shawnee McMahon. Back down towards Tennyson once more. Coming out to meet it this time is Tony Griffin, trying to put Clare on the scoreboard, and he succeeds in doing so. man from Ballier, just outside Clarecastle, in the parish of Clarecastle, in fact, down in the Banner County. Gave up his studies in Canada to concentrate on hurling this season. First point for the Banner. Breaking ball favours Kilkenny. Coming straight through the centre, dead straight in front of the posts. Another fine point, this time scored by Derek Ling. So disappointed at being sent off against Galway. Very focused on this one and determined to make amends. Puck out by Davy Fitz again, dropping it down towards Tony Carmody and John Tennyson. This time the Kilkenny man is fouling, so it's going to be a free in for Clare, just in front of the Kilkenny post on the 45-metre line.
JJ Delaney getting pulled there for a little trademark tug on Alan Markham, and he's gone into mark Alan Markham at full forward, so obviously he's detailed to mark him wherever he goes.
Niall Gilligan with the free, and a point for Clare. Playing today in his 44th championship match, and incredibly, it's all the fours. He scored 14 goals, 404 points, 444 points in all those games. So you can see he's a vital component to Clare over the last number of years. Fine catch by Brian O'Connell from the Wolftones club down in Shannon. Henry Shefflin leaves it behind him, surprisingly. James Chaffis-Patrick is lending a hand. Shawnee McMahon is there, so too is Colin Lynch. O'Connell comes out, Bacchus is known down in Shannon, trying to get it back for his Lohan. Lohan picks it up, and here comes Lohan, bursting his way out, laying it off as Dermot McMahon from Kilmaley, chasing after him. He's a Kilkenny man, but I'm not too sure he's going to reach it. That's James Tommy Walsh, and trying to get it into the centre. Not a bad ball at all. Good play, however, by JJ Delaney, who has taken up responsibility for the fullback role, and as Donald O'Grady mentioned, Mark Allen Markham comes for as Jonathan Clancy, given a little bit of space this time. James McGarry calls, and wisely he escorts it out over the end line. Well, a blistering start to this All-Ireland semi-final. Certainly a brilliant start for Kilkenny.
Well, a shot there from Eddie Brennan. Eddie could have taken on a little bit more. He had a bit of space in him, and really it was, he should have just tapped it over the bar that time, but another escape for Clare maybe early on.
Martin Comerford here, posing a few problems. Coming through the centre, his own Larkin uses the short grip, and that's over the bar. Good score. But he now needs running repairs on that hurling. Obviously split in two there. Scored the point of the year last year, you will recall, against Wexford here in the Leinster Championship. And they send that ball straight down on Tony Carmody and John Tennyson. Colin Lynch is down injured. Remember, he came into this game after a little bit of a doubt with his ankle ligament problem. Shawnee McMahon floats this one in. Dangerous enough ball, and the ball is running in over the goal line. It's a goal for Clare. The banners are raised around Croke Park, and the people of Clare rejoice. They're back in the game. Early days, but they needed this goal. Shawnee McMahon from St. Joseph's Dura Bearfield dropped this one in. It rolled literally in, but Gilly from 6 Mile Bridge seemed to get the touch. Let's just watch it here again. It was agonisingly close, and it was Gilly that got the touch.
Well, that'll have to go down, Marty. He has a very bad mistake by James O'Garry. There was no need for him to come out underneath that ball. It was being watched already by his full back, and he came out and the ball broke behind him, and you know, a simple chance for Clare, and Gilligan just made sure it went over the line. But really, that's a great confidence booster to Clare, and you know, you'll be looking at James O'Garry, one of the most experienced goalkeepers in Ireland, having a very, very good, successful year again this year, and really a bad case of misjudgment there, and you know, he'll be very unhappy with that, as will the rest of Kilkenny.
Well, you might have seen there that Colin Lynch obviously picked up a nose injury, and there's a blood substitute on. That's Declan O'Rourke from the Wolftones club. Brother Paul won in All-Ireland in 1997 as a substitute. And here comes the aforementioned Mr. O'Rourke, dropping this one in. Tony Griffin is inside, grabs it, hits it, mishits it, and James McGarry is there, but it should have been a goal for Clare. So after that terrible start, the Clare men have settled.
And I've noticed that Tony Griffin is drifting into full forward every chance he gets, and I think that should be the tactic. He's tall, he's strong, and he's a good hurler, and definitely he should have just knocked that ball past James O'Garry, and that'll count as a bad miss, and Clare might be looking for that one at the end of the game. But certainly Clare have the tactic of Alan Markham moves out and Tony Griffin moves in for all the long balls, and Jackie Turtle's in trouble in there.
John Tennyson, All-Ireland minor medalist 2002-2003, drops this one in. Good defending this from Quisheen, under pressure with one hand on the stick, gets it out. Declan O'Rourke is subsequently fouled, and that's going to be a free for Clare. Davy Fitzgerald coming out to take the free. Incredibly, today, Davy Fitzgerald plays in his 60th championship match, in his 17th championship season. The only man that's better than him is the wonderful, the great Christy Ring from Cork, who made 64 championship appearances for the Rebels from 1940 to 1962. I'm sure Clare won't be concerned with statistics. Here's a chance for Tony Griffin, sneaking inside the cover. Needs a little bit of support. 3 Kilkenny players around him. One of them happens to be Jackie Tyrrell, the captain from James Stephens in Kilkenny City. Knocking it down is Brian O'Connell. Pulled on just a little bit as Kilkenny try to regroup. This ball is wanted inside by Henry Shefflin. It's going high, sent in by Aidan Fogarty, but well wide. No time for any deep breathing here or analysis. The puck out is taken so quickly, and again it's down towards Tony Griffin. Here comes Gilling. Niall Gilligan keeps the ball in play. But, the linesman indicates that is going to be a sideline ball. That's Barry Kelly, the linesman from Westmeath, that put up his flag, along with Eamon Morris, doing the sideline today. This is Eamon Morris actually this side, Barry Kelly at the far side.
Well, I think we've seen from the last few shots that Clare are intending keeping the pressure in Kilkenny, and definitely Tony Griffin is having a bit of success down in the left corner.
Fouling there by Kilkenny in the centre of the pitch. Another free for Clare. Colin Lynch is going to return to the fold, which means that Declan O'Rourke will return, at least for the moment, to the substitute bench. A great warrior, Colin Lynch, playing in his 41st championship match today. 34-year-old from Lissy Casey, plays his club hurling with Kilmaley. This one is dropping in, and the white flag is about to be raised by Shawnee McMahon, 33-year-old from Dura Bearfield, playing today in his 51st championship match, and in that time has scored an incredible 93 points. And I think if you were to analyse that, most of those would have been from frees. Shawnee McMahon underneath it again. Jerry Quinn from Corrifin comes in, whips it down the middle. Alan Markham coming out. Big John Tennyson is there, drops the ball, but he was fouled. And John, I think, is in a bit of pain there with that. He got it into the back by accident, and will require some medical attention.
Well, his shoulder seems to be out there. I'm not quite sure whether it was a free or not, Marty. I thought it was just a 50-50 challenge, and you know, going for the ball. Clare were a little late coming in, but he seems to be in trouble, and they're indicating that you know, he may have to come off, and he'd be a big loss to Kilkenny because they're not over endowed with defenders at the moment. Maybe Sean Fennelly might come in for Kilkenny, and or maybe Brian Hogan, who has played on the path, but really he has been playing well of late, and they'll certainly miss him.
Well, they just require a little bit of time, but I can tell you that Brian Hogan is warming up. Here comes Alan Markham into the challenge, and obviously John felt the pain immediately. Checking with the medical team, ensuring that the shoulder is okay. It certainly looks like a substitute is required, and I think John Tennyson has given up and acknowledges that he has a shoulder problem. That's just so unfortunate, because I know he was really looking forward to this game. Fine hurler, and he's going to be replaced by Brian Hogan from O'Loughlin Gales. He made his debut against Wexford at left half back 2 years ago. Plays fullback normally for O'Loughlin Gales, but surprisingly never played minor for Kilkenny. This free going to be taken by James Cha Fitzpatrick. Dropping this one in. It's tailing to the right and wide. How significant is that, Donald?
Well, I think it's very significant, because Brian Hogan hasn't played for a few years, and he played on the wing against Wexford a couple of years ago in the Leinster semi-final, where Wexford were victorious, and you know, he had a thorough time that day, and big ass coming in to try and mark Tony Carmody in this, you know, and this game is hell for leather.
Colin Lynch leaves it for Jerry Quinn. Lynch is available if he needs a hand pass. Decides to drop it in towards Alan Markham. And Gilly is straight through. It's against James McGarry. Puts it. And a brilliant save by McGarry. Well, he more than made amends for that previous error of judgment. Wonderful save by James McGarry. It was 1 against 1 there. And Gilly, like Tony Griffin, should really have rattled the back of the net. Here it comes. Gilly. Big 6-mile bridge man, often criticised in terms of not producing it on a big day, but McGarry, to his credit, stood his ground.
Well, should have gone high with that one, Marty. You know, back the ball up high and the keeper has no chance. And that's 2 goal chances gone to begging by Clare.
Colin Lynch drops it in, there's a chance here, and it's over the bar. Good combination play. Tony Griffin gets his 2nd point. Level for the first time after 15.5 minutes of play in his 6th championship season. 25-year-old has already scored 115 in the championship so far. Big Martin Comerford battling with Brian O'Connell. Hand passes it, but to nobody in particular. And there's Barry Kelly, our linesman from Westmeath. And that's going to be a sideline ball for Clare.
You would have to say, Marty, that, you know, Clare have settled very, very well. You know, the shock of a goal conceding goal in the first couple of minutes and a few points. You know, they've been very, very competitive, and Kilkenny have showed a lack of composure in times, just hitting the ball away there. James Sharp is smart to be long range free, and Aidan Fogarty, another one that's just tailed harmlessly wide.
This ball sent in by Martin Comerford. Good play by Frank Lohan, experienced player. Turns in towards goal, but he knew all the time what he was doing. Jonathan Clancy from Clarecastle. A young magpie, vibrant, energetic, sending it in. Alan Markham from Kilmaley, getting inside the cover, steps over the Kilkenny man, brought to ground. The referee blows the whistle, and it's going to be a free in for Clare. But you'd have to say, Donal, that their weaknesses in that Kilkenny full backline are being exposed. There are chances falling Clare's way. Well,
I mean, you know, Marty, that would have to go down as another goal chance, really. Alan Markham, he hesitated too much. I think he should have taken another step forward, and, you know, he was nearly at the small parallelogram at that stage. And Clare have had, that's 3 goal chances, clear goal chances that they've had, and, you know, normally you get them and you won't get them again, but Clare are the ascendancy at the moment.
That's the angle from our camera on the Hill 16 end. Niall Gilligan taps it over the bar for a goal and 2 points he has now contributed. Goal from play, 2 points from Fritz. Scored 2 goals and 23 points in 5 games in this championship season, including 5 against Wexford in the quarter-final. Jerry Quinn, noted footballer as well, from Corofin. Sending that down quickly towards Derek Quinn. Just took his eye off it a little bit. Backfires Tony Griffin. Nice stick work. Front of the post. Head set with conviction over the bar. It's early days, but perhaps the Bowron drums are beating in Clare. They're beginning to feel confident on the hill.
Well, Kilkenny's full back line seems to be at sea. The balance doesn't seem to be right. JJ Delaney's very comfortable with a full back, and you know, Noel Hickey and Jackie Tyrrell don't seem to be comfortable either.
Henry Scheffler down at the other end, and surprisingly sends that to the left and wide. And again, Davy Fitz looks for the quick puck out. Straight down the middle. 2 against 2 here. Breaking ball. Favours the Kilkenny man. Brian Hogan. Intercepted by Shawnee McMahon. Gets a second chance now. Bypasses James Fitzpatrick. Jonathan Clancy with him. Clancy. Knocked off it. James Ryle is there for Kilkenny. Picked up by Colin Lynch. Hand pass available to the left, but it's a poor pass. Perhaps Jim McMahon might make it. Tommy Walsh comes across. Sideline ball for Clare.
Well, just to show the pressure that Kilkenny are under, they've moved Henry Shefflin out to left half forward now to try and win a few balls, because each of the puck outs that James McGarry has taken in the last few minutes they've lost, and Clare's half back line seems to be on top, and Jerry Quinn is going over to mark Henry Shefflin now, and Brian O'Connell is coming over to mark Eddie Brennan. So really Clare have put the shackles on Kilkenny, and you know, if you had counted it, one goal chance out of 3, you'd expect Clare would be well ahead.
Colin Lynch, half blocked by James Fitzpatrick, fully blocked in fact because he gathered it. Superb. Backfires James Ryle from Greg Ballycallan. Nephew of Tom Ryle, the former Kilkenny PRO. Here's a chance for Comerford. Mishits it really, but it drops over the bar. First point of this All-Ireland semi-final for Martin Comerford from O'Loughlin Gales in Kilkenny City. 1 point between the teams. It's lively, it's entertaining, and certainly very even at the moment. Going back here is James Fitzpatrick. Far better around the middle of the field rather than confined to a corner forward position. Martin Comerford was fouling Brian Lohan. Free out to Clare.
Well, experience telling there, because as that ball has been delivered, Brian Lohan just gave Martin Comerford a little tug, and he went out in front, and Martin Comerford tried to do the same thing, and Clare got the free. And again, Tony Griffin will be drifting into the middle here for this long-range free.
Davy Fitzgerald dropping it in towards Alan Markham, and Dylan McMahon gathered almost by McMahon. Gone back to gather is Tommy Walsh. Hits it high down towards the middle of the field again. This time Henry Shefflin is fouling Jerry Quinn. It's going to be a free for Clare once more. Shawnee McMahon. His old teammate, of course, Anthony Daly, manager of this Clare side. 3rd year in charge.
This will be a great psychological boost for Clare if Shawnee McMahon can get this one, Marty, because he's very good from long-range frees. Point to the first one, and you know it's almost a barometer of how they're playing if he gets long-range frees.
McMahon looks, as we all look, at the slither going over the crossbar. 2nd point. Well, they may have started terribly, but psychologically you'd have to say that Clare are showing great strength. They have responded magnificently so far. 21.5 minutes gone. Nice pick-up by Eddie Brennan. Hits it onto the left. Judges it perfectly. Wonderful wing forward, Eddie Brennan. All-star, of course, 3 years ago. And showing the sort of form that may well attract the attention of all-star selectors before the end of the year.
Well, Marty, the umpire is very, very quick there. Davy Fitzgerald took a step or two outside the small parallelogram, and the umpire is very quick in indicating to the referee. And as the ball dropped, Seamus Roach just looked back and instantly has given the 65. You know, it's a rule that's not really applied, but obviously Seamus Roach has instructed his umpires that if there's any movement outside the small parallelogram, that they give the 65, which is indeed the rule of hurling.
Terry Hennebury there down at the canal end with Peter Moore, the umpires, both from Kilsheelan, and obviously this is something that the referee and his team of umpires have consulted. Looks like Davy Fitzgerald is going to be booked for some verbal disagreement with the umpire. And Seamus Roach having been notified by the umpire, and there's a yellow card for Davy Fitzgerald, which I think is the first time I've actually seen that happen.
Well, he won't be on Davy's Christmas card list anyway, Marty.
And that is for sure. 65 going to be taken by Henry Shefflin. Hits it well. Point for Kilkenny. That's a goal and 3 points he's now scored. And they're level for the 2nd time after 23 minutes of play in the first half. Breaking ball. Picked up by Dermot McMahon. Jonathan Clancy's gone inside. Uses a crossfield ball instead. Should work out all right for Clare. Now Gilligan is there, tries to flick it back. There's Jerry Quinn. So too is Shawnee McMahon. Hits the shoulder. The engine is good. Still dispossessed, however, by tenacious Kilkenny tackling. Comes down for Frank Lohan. Being fouled by Michael Rice from Carrickshock. And that's going to be a free for the Banner.
Well, you would have to say that Seamus Roach, the referee, has been very consistent on this since the start of the game, and he's, you know, any little tugs or pulls, straight away he's in and blows the whistle. And just to get back to that 65 mark there, I think if the umpires didn't instruct the keepers beforehand, I think it's a little unfair, because, you know, it's a rule that's not really applied, but maybe they did or maybe they didn't. But, you know, Davy was fairly annoyed with that one, but obviously now they'll be on their toes not to be outside the parallelogram.
And Donal, I'm just watching down at the canal end, because Davy Fitz and the umpire are still arguing and debating about the issue. And I'm sure that Davy feels quite aggrieved. There you go. Shawnee McMahon with the free. It's a mighty one, but it's tailing to the left and wide.
That was a big ask there, Marty, from Seanie McMahon. It was a long free. He might have been better off, just especially when they have the Kilkenny full back line in trouble of lobbing it in. And there has been a little lull from Clare in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and I think they need to get put a bit of pressure back on Kilkenny by getting the ball into the full forward line.
And if Clare are going to beat Kilkenny, they have to play with that intensity over 70 minutes. Kilkenny man Michael Rice, or Eddie Brennan, in fact it is, that was fouling possession, so it's another free for Clare. Seanie McMahon again. Won an All-Ireland club medal, of course, with Dura Bearfield back in 1999. Several first cousins there, the Kilkenny camp, and Anthony Daly. Hoping for better fortune than last year's All-Ireland semi-final against Cork. It's looking good from here, and it is good. 3 points from the centre half back, the captain. An inspirational one when on form. Puts Clare back in front by the narrowest of margins.
Well, that was a marvellous free, Marty, and Seanie McMahon has always made a great contribution to Clare when they've won matches up here.
Well gathered by Michael Rice, and Eddie Brennan actually was the one that had it. Michael Rice was waiting for the break. Brennan trying to make a little bit of an angle for himself. He had to go over almost to the Cusack stand side to make a bit of space for himself. And the umpire signals that that ball is wide. And it's 5 wides for Kilkenny, by the way, in this first half, in comparison to Clare's 2. Flicked on. Nice pick up by Quinn. Makes an angle for himself, and that is sailing over the crossbar. Wonderful score. Derek Quinn from Clarecastle. He was the top scorer in the County Clare Club Championship last season. Like Anthony Daly, is a magpie from Clarecastle, where they certainly love their hurling. Comes down into the middle, where James Chaffis-Patrick survives 3 challenges from a Clareman. Kilkenny have it once more. This is Derek Link, powerful hurler. Again, Clare's tackling is powerful, but not preventing any passing. Look at that, 3 of them, passing, chasing. And it's Tony Carmody, the Garda from Henry Street in Limerick. Gives it back to Seanie McMahon. Delivers it in towards the corner, where Tony Griffin and Derek Quinn have now swapped corners. And Griffin gets away with it. Tommy Walsh has to come back. Griffin has to try and cut inside the angle. Still Griffin charging with the ball. Free out. And there should have been reinforcements arriving a lot quicker than what they did there, because Griffin had little or no option, and it's so difficult to beat a player of tremendous quality like Tommy Walsh.
Well, I think he should have come on the outside, Marty. He hesitated a little bit, and I think if he took a step on the outside there, he would have been looking out the field, and it may have been a bit easier for him to find a bit of support. But Niall Gilligan and Alan Markham were a little bit slow to come up to help him that time, as you said.
James McGarry's free. Comes down far as Henry Shefflin. This one is sailing over the bar. Henry Shefflin, by the way, looks like he's moved back out to the 40. In fact, I can confirm that Comerford is back at the edge of the square. Puck out by Davy Fitz into the glorious sunshine. Down first, Tony Griffin. Well blocked down by right corner back Jackie Tyrrell. 2 Kilkenny players around Griffin this time. And it's Henry Shefflin that has the slither. Sends it over towards this side. Frank Lohan bats it down. But there's a chance here for Eddie Brennan. His speed a vital factor. Tries to make an angle. Turns onto his right. But the referee again pulls on the fact of taking too many steps with the ball. Well, you have to say, Seamus Roach is one of the best referees in the game at the moment, but he is quite particular about the number of steps.
Well, he always has been, Marty, and 4 steps is the rule, and I think that's what he implies. And Eddie took 3 or 4 and then turned around, and, you know, he blew for it. And that's the way things go with Seamus Roach.
Alan Markham feeds his first cousin, Diarmuid McMahon. They did it in the quarter-final against Wexford, and McMahon scored a goal. He's along the edge line. James McGarry has to come off his goal line to lend assistance to his full back line. Comes out first, Brian Hogan. Delivers it down the middle. Eddie Brennan is there. So too is Brian O'Connell. The slither glued to the hurling. There's no evil stick required when you have skill like Brennan. Flicks it inside for Martin Comerford. Turning onto his left and sending it over the crossbar. Great score by Kilkenny. 2nd point for Martin Comerford, and the sides are level for the 3rd time after 29 minutes of play. Still there. Going to be a Kilkenny ball. Both Brian Cody doing linesman duty as well as Eamon Morris, referee from Dublin, who's doing the line this side. Looks like Eddie Brennan is the player down injured. They're just in front of us here in the Hogan stand. Hard to see with the doctor around him.
It is in fact Brennan, Marty, and you know, a thing that was very significant there when Henry Shefflin came out left half forward and Martin Comfort went into full. Brian O'Connell switched immediately over here to left hand side, and Jerry Quinn went over to mark Henry Shefflin, but Eddie Brennan has been, you know, making great inroads in that, because Brian O'Connell just hasn't the pace to stay with him, and you know, it's a good move from the Kilkenny point of view.
Well, Anthony Daly was having a word with Brian O'Connell while Eddie Brennan was getting running on pairs. I can also tell you that Clare have switched their full forward line around. Diarmuid McMahon is now at the edge of the square, Alan Markham on the wing. Here comes Michael Rice onto his left, and that is to the right and wide. 6 wides for Kilkenny.
Good chance there by Michael Rice, but he's more of a midfielder, Martin, than a corner forward. I think he's in there just to try and stop Frank Lohan and just try to win the 50-50s from him. But definitely Clare have slumped in the last 5 minutes and haven't been as productive.
The puck out is not a great one. Comes to Owen Larkin, but Owen Larkin can't capitalise on it. And Hurley has the umpire waved his hands, but Davy Fitz is sending the ball back down again towards this Kilkenny half-back line. Here's Tommy Walsh. Love watching him play hurling. Out far is James Cha Fitzpatrick. Cha dropping it in towards Martin Comerford, battling with Brian Lohan, bats it down. Far is Colin Lynch. Lifts and puts it down towards, oh, that's a fabulous catch by Brian Hogan. Better suited, I would say, to a centre-back or full-back role. And the referee claims this time that the Kilkenny man was being fouled, so that's going to be a free for the Cats. Fine catch, though, by Brian Hogan. Back in form, obviously.
Brilliant catch there, Marty, and he tried to pass it away, I think, to Jackie Turtle, who took his eye off for a second, and, you know, Kilkenny were lucky to get away with that one. That could have been a throw-in ball just for a tussle.
James McGarry playing his 33rd championship match today for Kilkenny. Dropping this one in. Here comes Frank Lohan. Leaves it just behind him, however. Comes back outside for his Owen Larkin, and that too is wide. 8 wides for Kilkenny. Well, as much as Clare dominated for a period in the middle of this first half, you have to say Kilkenny have had their chances now. And there's a series of wides there that Brian Cody certainly won't be happy with. Tommy Walsh as Kilkenny come to grips with the Clare challenge. This one is sent in by Henry Shefflin, and it's sailing very high and sent over the crossbar. 1 goal and 5 points for Henry Shefflin.
A marvellous point again there. Supported Tommy Welsh very well. He just went near enough to him to get the pass, and straight away turned and stuck it over the bar.
Cha Fitzpatrick tries to follow King Henry's example, but unfortunately he sends it wide. I'm not too sure. I'm actually seeing Brian Lohan telling Davy Fitz, calm down, because the puckouts were coming so fast that the Clare lads, even themselves, weren't aware of where it was going. So obviously it's a strategy, but the last 2 or 3 puckouts have gone straight to Kilkenny players. Cha Fitzpatrick again continues to work. Certainly dominant at midfield now against Jonathan Clancy. Shawnee McMahon helping to cover up his defence there. Comes far as James Ryle. 2 additional minutes in this first half. In towards Jerry O'Grady. O'Grady was being fouled. I have my doubts, I have to say, about that. It didn't look like Aidan Fogarty was pushing him, but it's a free.
And that was the first good ball that has gone into the full forward line there for a long time from James Ryle. It was giving Jerry O'Grady the advantage, but it was the first low ball. Before that, Kilkenny was just hitting the ball away, and you know, if you want to run Brian alone around the place and try and discomfort him, the ball has to go in fairly quickly, and you know, as you said, I'm not quite sure about that free either.
Davy Fitz stopping this end. There's a touch on it. The Kilkenny are back there in numbers. Clear their lines. Out over the sideline. Sideline ball for Clare.
That shows the pressure they're under, Marty, really. You know, they're not able to work the ball out from the defence as they'd like, as they've done in previous matches. Clare are really closing them down and putting them under fierce pressure in their backs.
By the way, here at Croke Park, I can tell you that there's no great breeze. It's a swirling breeze more than anything else across field, but not really favouring anybody at the moment. Conor Lynch hits it well. Breaking ball knocked out again by the Kilkenny defence. Gone over there is Tommy Walsh from Tullaroan. Ireland under 21 medalists in 2003 and 2004. The curriculum vitae of some of these Kilkenny hurlers at underage is so impressive. In contrast, Clare have had no success at minor level since 1997, when John Redden from 6 Mile Bridge captained the side. here in Croke Park. Since then, it's been rather poor. Pushes into the corner, Derek Quinn. Chasing after Noel Hickey. Delivered down towards Charles Fitzpatrick. Shields himself with the hurler. Catches the slither with the left hand. Drops it in towards the corner. Again, great defending by Frank Lohan. Wolf Tones man. Needs to give it back. Brian O'Connell, another Wolf Tones man. Great block down. Superb by Owen Larkin. Comes as far as Eddie Brennan. Flicks it into the space. Conor Lynch gets a hurley to it. Tommy Walsh and Niall Gilligan. Gilligan's hurley being held by Tommy Walsh. Tommy is saying he was being held. I think the benefit of the doubt goes to Gilly, but it's one of them, two of them, I would think.
Well, Marty, I think that Niall Gilligan did very well there. Body strength and physical strength kept Tommy Walsh from getting the ball, and Tommy tried to stretch out for and held Gilligan's hurley, and another chance for Seanie McMahon out to level things up.
Free going to be taken by Seanie McMahon. This one looks like it's going to the right and wide. Clare search the equaliser before half-time. They've just about a minute to do so.
Well, when you look back at the chances that Clare had, and they now seem to be going in at half-time, a point down, you know, they'll regret that.
Breaking ball. Comes back for Seanie McMahon, who calls for it. Lays it off low and fast for Tony Carmody. Goes for the long ball. Oh, what a puck! What a point by Tony Carmody. He scored 5 points in the quarter-final. He scored his first in this All-Ireland semi-final after 36 minutes, and Clare and Kilkenny are level for the 4th time in this Guinness All-Ireland hurling semi-final. Seanie McMahon pulls it. Perhaps Clare can go in front. Here's Gilly dropping it in long. James McGarry will escort it out over the end line. That gives a total tally of 4 wides for Clare, in contrast to 9 for Kilkenny. Referee Seamus Roach is telling Alan Markham to get out of the square. You might just hear the whistle in the background. That's all he was doing.
And Clare, I think, have reshuffled their forward, and again they've kept Niall Gilligan right half, but Tony Griffin has gone across to right corner forward, and Tony Carmody has gone to left half forward, with Diarmaid McMahon going out to centre forward on Alan Hogan.
The referee blows the half-time whistle. An enthralling first half. A goal after a minute and 15 seconds by Henry Shefflin certainly must have pleased Brian Cody. But then 7 minutes later, Niall Gilligan had the ball in the back of the net, and that gave Clare a lifeline. And they have certainly put it up to the Leinster hurling champions, the hottest of favourites in this All-Ireland semi-final. And for Tommy Walsh and his colleagues, well, there'll be a severe dressing down, I would say, by Brian Cody, because at half-time they've been levelled 4 times in this All-Ireland semi-final. It's a pulsating, intriguing All-Ireland hurling semi-final. It's Kilkenny 1 goal and 10 points, Clare 1 goal and 10 points. We'll have analysis. Do stay with us after the break.
Official card to the GAA.
Thing that Clare don't want to do is Kilkenny are masters at this. First 5-10 minutes of the second half, are popping a few scores, and before you know where you are, you're 4 points down.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure that's what Anthony Daly has been preaching to the team inside of half-time. The start of the second half has to be ours. The first 5-10 minutes now, we push home our advantage and we drive it on from there. And if they do that, they have an excellent chance. There's no doubt about that.
All right, lads, let's go back over to the commentary box then, and we're going to rejoin Marty Morrissey and Donal O'Grady.
Thank you very much, Michael. Just some positional switches there. It looks like Tommy Walsh has gone corner back, Jackie Tyrrell to left half back. Second half is underway. Who will be playing Cork in this season's All-Ireland Senior Hurling Final? Answer in about 35 minutes. Will it be Clare? Will it be Kilkenny? Level 4 times in the opening 37 minutes. And the referee has spotted a foul there. Given just a little tick. Looks like it's Brian Lohan that he's giving it to. And it's going to be a free in and a chance for Kilkenny to go in front, like what they did in the first half, within seconds of the whistle being blown.
Well, I mean, discipline is a big thing in any victory, Martin. That was a silly free given up by Brian Lohan because the ball was inconclusive. Nobody had it, and a simple tap it over now for Henry Shefflin.
1 goal and 6 points for Henry Shefflin in this All-Ireland semi-final. Davy Fitz. Low trajectory. skips by Diarmuid McMahon. Gilly tries his best to keep it in, goes off a Kilkenny hurley, goes off Jackie Tyrrell, and you can see that he is playing at left half back. And this is going to be a sideline ball for Clare. Colin Lynch going to take this. Diarmuid McMahon wanted it quickly, decided against it. All-star hurler, 1997, 2002. Great warrior for the Banner County. Sends it in towards the centre, towards Tony Carmody. Chaff Fitzpatrick gets there. So too does Jonathan Clancy, takes it off his stick. Clancy looking around, just a 20-year-old from Clarecastle. Gives it back first, Tony Carmody from Ina. They have to go back. Shawnee McMahon under pressure from Kilkenny. Tenacious tackling by Kilkenny. Henry Shefflin drives it in towards the corner, over towards Martin Comerford. Brian Lohan keeping him company. Comerford goes for the score in front of the Cusack stand, but he whips it across the face of the goal and wide. It'll be interesting to see if Davy Fitz again goes for these quick puck outs, and he is anxious to get on with it. Aims for Colin Lynch at the far side. Good play by James Ryer. Good control. Knows that he's could be hooked, uses the short grip, but again, it's another wide. Well, that's 2 quick wides. They now have 11 wides on their tally on that side of the house for Kilkenny. This down towards Alan Markham. Chaff Fitzpatrick underneath it, looking for the breaking ball. Sends it back down in towards the corner. Frank Lohan, good footballer, good hurler. Sending it far as Brian O'Connell. Kilkenny chasing and harassing everything. Here's Derek Ling. Sending it back over towards Martin Comerford at the far side. Brian Lohan allows him to gather possession. Comerford slipping and sliding. Lohan now up with him. Good play by Comerford. Tries to send it across over towards Jerry Quinn, and nipping in is Jerry O'Grady. Available is Jonathan Clancy. Far more vibrant. Oh, fairly hefty shoulder there by Derek Ling, and the referee has given him a free. And Ling, it was a hefty shoulder, but certainly my initial impression was that it was a shoulder.
Well, I think he may have had to hurley up a little bit high, Marty, you know, when he hit him, but you know, the intent was to shoulder him over the line, and I thought maybe the ref might have given a free against Clancy for steps earlier on.
Yes, the hurley was high. I think that was what was the connection, but I don't think in any way was that deliberate. Meanwhile, Clare get the free. It looks like Jerry Quinn is in trouble here. It looks like his hand, and he suffered in the past with hand injuries. Another Quinn, Dr. Quinn, is now from 6 Mile Bridge taking care of him. Obviously, he would be a huge loss if Clare were to lose their left half back. Spray the immediate remedy. 1999 All-Ireland Colleges, and when Jerry Quinn grimaces, I can tell you, it must be painful. This man is built on courage and character. Missed the Dublin game with a groin problem. And his mother is a great hurling woman. She teaches in Ina and actually taught Tony Carmody, the centre half forward. Looks to be the knuckle there on that right hand, and I think Dr. Quinn is going to freeze it in the hope that that'll do until afterwards. As anticipated, Jerry Quinn goes back into position. Shawnee McMahon lobbing this one in. Breakdown for James Ryer. Loses possession. Derek Quinn bursting forward. Has to hand it back. Referee says it was a throw, it looked like. And that's going to be a free out for Kilkenny.
Well, Kilkenny fortunate enough there, Marty, but they, you know, long balls into the defence is causing big problems from today, and even though they've dominated the second half since the start, you know, they're only a point up, and they've been quite wasteful really with the type of deliveries that they've hit in, particularly when Martin Comerford seems to have the beating of Brian Lohan side.
Free by James Gary is a rather poor one. Gives possession away over towards Brian O'Connell. Pat Fitzgerald, the Clare County Secretary there, listening as Anthony Daly discusses possible changes with Father Harry, and Ollie Baker and Alan Cunningham, part of his management team, as Brian O'Connell takes the sideline cut. Again, as Chaff Fitzpatrick. The little yellow helmet seems to be everywhere this afternoon here in Croke Park. Working hard, getting the hurley in. Just getting a touch to it. Colin Lynch and Henry Shefflin. Comes down towards Aidan Fogarty. Lays it off to Shefflin once more. And as he's done so many times in the past, Shefflin is just a class apart. 1 goal and 7 points he's now scored. Charfus Patrick, fabulous catch over the far side. Conlon beats Dermot McMahon, who's bigger than him, but takes the challenge from Brian O'Connell as well. Jerry O'Grady battling here for Sheen and for Clare against Aidan Fogarty from the Emeralds Club. Lays it out for his Jerry Quinn. Hand passes on for his Jonathan Clancy. That hand seems to be a problem for Quinn. And I think the referee will be notified in a moment that Jerry Quinn is unable to continue. Meanwhile, the referee is just having a word with Owen Larkin, giving him a little public tick. But Jerry Quinn is in trouble with the hand.
Well, he's certainly in trouble. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he had to go off, but I suppose really Clare have a direct replacement in David Hoey, or they might even move Dermot McMahon back there. But David Hoey, of course, is a very experienced right half-back for them, and you know, that won't upset their backline in any great to any great degree. But they may move Brian O'Connell back over and Henry Shefflin for a bit of added pace.
And it looks like that may well be a permanent substitution. David Hoy from St. Joseph's, Dura Bearfield, same as his captain here, and the man in your television screen at the moment taking this free. McMahon dropping this one in. It's tailing though to the left and wide.
Well, I think that you know, Clare might be better off if they drop those balls to the edge of the square. And there's a picture of Jerry Quinn. Definitely some problem with the back of his hand there, I think. Probably, you know, can be very, very sore, and just adding a little bit of ice to it now.
Aidan Looney, the team physio there from West Clare, just keeping an eye on him. As the fabulous catch by Shawnee McMahon. Steps aside 3 Kilkenny players. Nice ball into the path of Dermot McMahon. Survives 1. There's a chance here for McMahon. He goes it alone and he sends it over the bar. Showing leadership, agility, and indeed ability. What about this for a catch though? Wonderful to watch.
Well, I think, Marty, as well as the catch, a brilliant transfer onto Dermot McMahon running through, and you know, made it very easy for Dermot McMahon. So everything excellent there about Shawnee McMahon today.
Shawnee McMahon beginning to dominate the centre. There were grave question marks over the last 12 months. Would he still dominate at centre half back? Remember, he's been there since 1993, wearing number 6 for the banner. It's now 2006, and he's still flying. David Hoy looking for the right position, I think, and to take this sideline ball.
The only thing about the puck out from James O'Gary, Mark, is that he's hit 4 or 5 now straight down the middle, and Owen Larkin wouldn't be renowned as a man standing under the ball. I mean, you think that he'd hit them out to Shefflin or Eddie Brennan out in the wings, who've been doing quite well.
Oh, fabulous catch by James Ryle this time. Wonderful repertoire of skills being shown here, various ways. Another fine catch. Pass back from Aidan Fogarty to James Ryle. Puts Ryle under pressure. Here's Eddie Brennan, capable of taking on this Clare defence. Seem to be sandwiched by 2 Clare defenders, using the hand pass to great effect. Kilkenny. They go back for his James Charfus Patrick, who lofts it high, drops it in. Lohan, Comerford, they're all underneath it, but it doesn't matter. It's over the bar. Cha is showing the way.
Great point by Kilkenny, great composure under pressure. 3 times the ball went back to Ryle, and eventually ball out to Charfus Patrick, and he's having an excellent game in the middle of the field.
Henry Shefflin. Dermot McMahon trying to mark him. The ball is put into space for Martin Comerford to run after it. Lohan stays with him. Comerford looks at the options. Crossfield ball. It's a bit too weighty, I'm afraid. And that could well reach the sideline. It's slowing down, and it's okay for Owen Larkin to gather. Sends it along the surface towards Aidan Fogarty. Or rather, I should say, Owen McCormack. Frank Lohan. Jonathan Clancy. Down the wing. Another yellow helmet player. This time, it's a Clare man. Derek Quinn. Cha. Magic. Around the middle of the field. Nice stick work here. Laying it back for us. Henry Shefflin in space. You don't do that when you're playing Kilkenny. It's another point for the man from Ballyhale Shamrocks. 1 goal and 8 points he's now contributed, and Kilkenny are beginning to stretch away.
And psychologically, Marty, they're big scores because, you know, Clare had the ball and they were dispossessed, and Charfus Patrick is doing all the damage in the middle of the field.
Wonderful play by Cha, except for the finish.
And you would have to say, Marty, that, you know, there's nobody really marking him. Jonathan Clancy is playing a very loose game, as is Colin Lynch, and, you know, Chaz isn't being marked tightly, and I think it's time that Clare maybe put somebody on him just to stick with him.
And you're dead right, because I'm just watching as this ball is being poked out. There is actually nobody on Cha Fitzpatrick. Tony Griffin trying to run it along. Good work here by Derek Ling. Brian Hogan under pressure. Good work by Tony Griffin. Goes for the score from in front of the Hogan stand. Fabulous point by Tony Griffin. 4 points for the man from Ballier, all from play. 5 shots on goal, 4 scores. Impressive.
Well, Kilkenny here had a chance to get rid of this one, and a poor pass by Brian Hogan to put Tommy Walsh in trouble, and snapped up by Tony Griffin and over the bar. And Clare needed that
to stay in contention. Diarmuid McMahon coming through as Derek Ling. Shawnee McMahon again. Down for his Tony Carmody. Some fine individual performances on show here. Here is Colin Lynch. He may be 33, he looks 18 here, but he should have given it away a little bit quicker. Lynch goes back to gather. Still looking around. Drops this one in. It's 2 against 1 here. Alan Markham arrives late. Coming through the centre was Derek Quinn. Quinn lays it back, tries to lay it back. Far as Niall Gilligan. Comes far as Jonathan Clancy. A little powerhouse. Trying to get inside James Cha Fitzpatrick. Flicks it forward. There's nobody there except JJ Delaney. Coming out, stepping aside the challenge of one Clare man. Then hitting it on the right. David Hoy is here. So too is Frank Lohan. As the game tempo steps up, certainly a major beat. Frank Lohan tries to lob it in high. However, his pass is not a great one. Sent back down the field by the fullback Noel Hickey. Ball inside for Martin Comerford. Lohan is there, in control, calm and composed. Sends it down for Diarmuid McMahon. Knocked forward by Jackie Tyrrell. Doing a little better since he moved to left half back from right corner back. Being chased by Colin Lynch. Flicking it inside, it's Eddie Brennan. Speedy Brennan. Inside him, it's the corner forward, and that's a penalty. Has to be. Owen McCormack was inside, and the Clare defence were cruelly exposed.
And Marty, that came from, you know, Brian Lohan won that ball on his own, and a poor enough delivery because Colin Lynch was standing on his own in the middle of the field and gave Kilkenny the counter-attack. And, you know, ref might have left the play go on for a second or two because, you know, Owen was up very quickly when he got the ball there, right, and, you know, he might have left it develop. It's now a penalty, and Sheffield will probably go for the goal here.
A wonderful sequence of play, and at the end of it all, it means a penalty. Frank Lohan is being spoken to here, and another yellow card for him. That's 2 yellow cards in a row for 2 Clare defenders. And meanwhile, it's Seamus Roach's umpire team, Tommy Lonergan and PJ Condon, who are on duty down at Hill 16, are having a word with their referee, and it looks like Eddie Brennan is being spoken to as well. But that little bit of off-the-ball activity. Yellow card for him as well on its way. A vital moment in this All-Ireland semi-final after 49 minutes. And the referee has disallowed the penalty and has given a throw ball. Ball inside, shot, and the ball is in the net. Owen McCormack, super sub. And Kilkenny rejoice in Croke Park. The Clare defence were caught ball watching here.
Well, I think everybody seemed to be taken by surprise there, Marty, by the throw-in, and you know, the ball came back to McCormack, and you know, the ball sort of ricocheted off, and Davy Fitz was unsighted maybe, and you know, Kilkenny will feel justified by that one. Possible to see it.
Heartbreak for Davy Fitz. Kilkenny on a roll here now. Frank Lohan comes across. Lofts it high, down towards Niall Gilligan. Colin Lynch in the thick of it. Gilly is there once more, tries to get it up. Jackie Tyrrell is the number 2 for Kilkenny. Still Gilly. Didn't quite work that particular acrobatic trick. Diarmuid McMahon. Determined, focused, lays it off first Jonathan Clancy. Front of the Hogan stand once more. It's tailing to the right and white. The momentum is with Kilkenny at the moment. Time. That's the vital factor. 20 minutes still to go. James McInerney is certainly on for, looks like he's going to be on for Derek Quinn in a moment. We'll check that in a moment as that ball drops in and it's gone to the right and wide. In fact, James McInerney is on, by the way, for Derek Quinn. So there's a change in the Clare attack. Fine fielding by Brian Hogan. Martin Comerford flicks it back for Aidan Fogarty. Just didn't quite judge it enough on this particular occasion. 14 wides for Kilkenny.
Well, Marty Diarmuid McMahon for Clare had moved out to play as a third midfielder there, and they were quite successful winning ball, but he's now gone back in centre forward, and Tony Cameron's gone full forward.
Ball bypasses them all, comes first Tony Griffin. In a nice easy style, gets away from Tommy Walsh. Tommy Griffin has a shot and cleared by James McGarry, who seemed to be hit after the ball by a Clare man, and the Kilkenny defence didn't like it. And tempers are becoming quite frayed. The ball sent in by Tony Griffin. He beat Tommy Walsh here. Let's just see what happened. McGarry saved and then pulled in the air, back out the field, and then comes the follow through. Yellow card. Looks like for James McInerney. So a very quick introduction to senior championship hurling by the Newmarket and Fergus man.
Well, I think the significant thing there was that Tony Griffin was caught in two minds. He was either a shot for a goal or a shot for a point, you know, and I think James McInerney just travelled in and bumped into James McGarry, and you know, he didn't exactly try to put him away or anything like that, but obviously the Kilkenny backs responded, and you know, a big psychological boost for Kilkenny now to have a free rod on the sideline and be given away where Clare would be on the attack again.
.34-year-old James McGarry joined the squad in 1997, placed Joe Darmody, and before that, of course, the Kilkenny goalkeeper was Michael Walsh. Comes down for us Henry Shefflin. Again, great stick work despite the pressure from Diarmuid McMahon. Great catch here by Frank Lohan. Dominant at left corner back. There's Brian O'Connell lofting it high. Alan Markham and Tony Carmody up there for Clare. This is Carmody. Can he get inside JJ Delaney? Moves and makes a little bit of space and flicks it high and over the bar for his second point. When the ball actually goes into those Clare full forward line a little bit better, they're well capable of beating the Kilkenny defence.
Well, you see some forward lines make the mistake, Marty, you know, of trying to go for goals and whatever else. I mean, they're only 5 points behind, 4 points now, and the more often that a quality ball goes in, like, the better for Clare, the better chance that they have.
Changes on the Clare side. I can tell you that Declan O'Rourke is on and Pat Vaughan is on. Jonathan Clancy has gone off, and we'll tell you about the next one in just a moment. The other change. Looks like Diarmuid McMahon is the other player that's gone. And it's Clare now that Niall Gilligan hits it with power and accuracy over the bar. Goal and 3 points. His first point from play, and now there's only 3 points between the teams.
Well, did have to be said, Marty, that Kilkenny had a period of dominance there for about 10 minutes or so, and you know, they were quite wasteful at times, even though that got the goal from Owen McCormack, and Clare are definitely back in the game big time now.
Shawnee McMahon giving a powerful display at centre half back, trying to find Colin Lynch. Goes off a Kilkenny man. Sideline ball for Clare. 16 minutes left, 15 and a half if you want to be very precise, and just a goal between the teams. Every time you think Kilkenny are going to stretch, they got a goal after a minute and 15 seconds. They got a goal there from Owen McCormack, and you'd expect them to pull away, but Clare have responded. Good defending here by JJ Delaney. Noel Hickey, in fact. Noel Hickey drops it up towards Martin Comerford. Breaking ball, Owen McCormack underneath it. So too is Jerry O'Grady. Feeds David Hoyle. Tries to get it away. Referee still hasn't blown his whistle. It's going to blow now. It's going to be a throw ball. Runs all the way for his Martin Comerford. Lays it back for his Derek Ling. Dropping this one in. It's high and it's tailing to the left and wide. Kilkenny have now shot 15 wides in this All-Ireland hurling semi-final. The puck out is quickly taken by David Fitzgerald. There's Jerry O'Grady, far better. Dropping this one in, but again, that's a terrible waste of possession.
I mean, Martin, we spoke about this about 3 or 4 minutes ago, that when the ball's going to, you know, the likes of Tony Griffin and Tony Carmody inside, you know, that they have the capacity, they're big, strong people. And, you know, great puck out from Davy Fitz that found Jerry O'Grady there, and a very wasteful ball wide. And, you know, that's soul destroying for the forward inside there.
Dramatic moves, really, by Anthony Daly to bring on Pat Vaughan, because Pat Vaughan wouldn't have featured that much in the league. He certainly come on against Limerick in the league semi-final. He played so well, he should be there. We have another little skirmish here between Henry and Seanie McMahon, and certainly Henry's hurley seems to be broken. And sportingly, Declan O'Rourke picks him up off the ground. Kilkenny are introducing Willie O'Dwyer, who normally plays in the forward line, and making way is Aidan Fogarty, electronic engineer with CBE down there in Kilkenny City. He's making way for Willie O'Dwyer from Mullinavat.
Willie O'Dwyer normally plays out around the middle of the field, wing forward, and you might see Eddie Brennan moving into the corner now, or maybe just adopting a free role.
Yellow card as well, by the way, for Henry Shefflin. Man who scored a goal and 8 points this afternoon. If you want an added little bit of statistical information, Henry has had 9 shots at goal as well. Pretty good statistics for you. A very impressive play by Henry.
It's important now, Marty, that this doesn't go wide.
Seanie. Looking good. It's looking straight and over the bar. Seanie McMahon has been an inspiration at centre half back. His tussle with Henry, sometimes with Martin Comerford, has been intriguing to say the least, and his fielding and his free taking still a vital component in this Clare side. And they talk about him being 33 years of age. It's some of the young fellas that need to come up to that required standard, I'm afraid. Breaking ball favours Derek Ling. Tries to get it away. Declan O'Rourke is there. Here comes Cha again. 3 Clare lads around him, and it's a Clareman that has it. That's Seanie McMahon, whose grandmother, Kitty McMahon, 93 years of age, is in the stand here. She has 3 grandchildren playing. Diarmuid McMahon, Seanie McMahon and Alan Markham. Declan O'Rourke is fouled, and it's a free in for the Bonnet. And you just feel, despite the fact that Kilkenny had the momentum, let's say 5-6 minutes ago, the pendulum of power seems to be swinging back to the west coast of Ireland.
Well, I think, Marty, the few substitutions that Clare have made there, they've become a lot more competitive in the middle of the field, and you can just see, because Kilkenny often used Shefflin as a sort of a fire brigade, and they have him back in centre forward now to try and curb the dominance of Sean McMahon.
Niall Gilligan with the free. An important opportunity, but unfortunately Gilly has sent it to the left and wide. That is 8 wides for Clare. 2 points between the teams. A crowd of 70,978 here packed into this Croke Park venue for the Bank of Ireland quarter-final and this All-Ireland hurling semi-final. Here's Pat Vaughan from Cusheen. Stylish hurler. Dropping it in towards Tony Carmody. It's 2 against 1 over there. JJ Delaney knocks it back. There's Tommy Walsh, who's discarded the helmet. Gets in the clearance despite 2 Clare lads around him. Another high dropping ball. Brian O'Connell uses the stick cleverly. Nice balance. Uses it low to try and get it up for a Clare attack that needs to function now. Tommy Walsh again gets there ahead of Alan Markham. A testing one for Brian Lohan and Martin Comerford. Coming across is the goal scorer, Owen McCormack. With him is Jerry O'Grady. McCormack almost went over the sideline with it, and Grady did well. Fires Colin Lynch. Again, great stick work, great control. Gets in his puck despite 2 Kilkenny lads around him. Delaney, straight race, battle ahead of Tony Carmody. Gets there, fires Cha. Cha's without a hurling, but uses football. They still have footballers in Kilkenny, which I'm sure will please the president of the GA, Nicky Brennan, who is a Kilkenny footballer himself. This ball across by Seanie McMahon. Cool and calm, under a bit of pressure here. Loses his footing, gives it back for Frank Lohan. 2 great warriors from 95 and 97 that won All-Ireland titles here at Croke Park. There's Jerry O'Grady, working hard. Great tenacious tackling by Kilkenny. They keep after them. Lovely pull in the air by Colin Lynch. Gets it down for Declan O'Rourke. Blocked. Here comes Lynch again. Powerhouse battling his way. Great hooking by Kilkenny. Superb play. That time it was Willie of the Wire. The referee blows his whistle, and it looks like it's going to be a throw ball. It's tough, it's hard stopping, and certainly at times it mightn't be pretty, but I can tell you some of the skills and some of the wrist work is quite superb. Clare there again. Pat Vaughan loses out this time. Derek Ling tries to get it for his Henry Shefflin. Niall Gilligan tries to stay with him. That's Eddie Brennan, in fact, that's sending that to the left and wide. 2 points still between the teams.
I think Kilkenny's tactic, Marty, when they get the ball, should be just to run straight at Clare and try and win a few frees, or else just try and pick out Shefflin, because he's been the most effective forward for them. And, you know, they've been a bit wasteful in the second half with chances that they've had. Knocked down from O'Rourke. Clare's Pat Vaughan. On the ground, he tussles. Still there. Declan O'Rourke comes in to help him. Here's Lynch. A free on the Kilkenny 65. And Lynch and Henry again exchange a few words they've met so many times in the past. So Clare are introducing Dahi O'Connell, and the player that's coming off looks like to be Alan Markham. So Dahi O'Connell, brother of right half-back Brian O'Connell, is on and takes up a position at the edge of the square. Free for Shawnee McMahon. 4 points out of 7 attempts. He steps away from this. The umpire goes for the flag, and it's another point for Clare. It's getting closer. Clare people in the crowd will say, here we go again. 8 minutes. Last year's All-Ireland semi-final comes to mind immediately. And the banner roar reverberates around Croke Park. Can Kilkenny hold on? Coming away with it, Martin Comerford in front of the Cusack stand, goes for the score, and the umpire signals immediately that it's the wrong side of the post. 17 wides Kilkenny have shot this afternoon. It's an awful lot of shooting and an awful lot of misses. Derek Ling snaps at the loose breaking ball, steps away from Pat Vaughan. Half blocked by Shawnee McMahon, but it comes into the path of Henry Shefflin, giving a little bit of space in front of the goals. He knows where the goalposts are in Croke Park. Henry Shefflin makes it a goal and 9 points. Marty, I think that should be the tactic by Kilkenny if they want to win this match. Run at the defence and then try and, you know, give the ball to a clear Henry Shefflin, because he's been excellent today.
Batted down by Brian Hogan. Sent in high, very high. A little bit of shoving. There's Tony Griffin, and James McGarry is there. Tony Carmody. Referee says play on. Plenty of Kilkenny defenders there. And out comes JJ Delaney. Great play, great heart. Blocked in his path, however, by Tony Griffin as Clare keep the pressure on. Calling outside is Dahi O'Connell. Skipping upside one challenge. Has a shot at goal, and it is going across the face of the goal and wide. 6.5 minutes left. Kilkenny people in the stand can hardly look. Can they do it?
Well, for a while there, Marty, when Clare got possession, Niall Gilligan was on his own right-hand side, but Tony Griffin couldn't get the ball across to him. But definitely there's huge pressure on the Kilkenny full back line, and they're feeling it today.
2 points between the sides. 21 points to 19. Lohan is down, injured. As Kilkenny lash at this. It's looking good. The umpire goes for his flag. Great point for Kilkenny. Re-establishes their 3-point advantage. Brian Lohan really went very high there, and I think he fell rather awkwardly.
Yeah, very high, and he came down, I think, and you know, the ball came back and Henry Shefflin had it and stuck it over the bar. And you know, that should be the tactic. He's been absolutely brilliant today, and he's very, very competitive as a player.
There's Brian Lohan. He certainly felt that one, I can assure you. Richie Power has just been introduced to the Kilkenny attack, and he's on for Owen McCormack.
I think that's to bring more pace to Kilkenny, and from here on in, I think they're going to, you know, they're going to play out the field a little bit and hope that they'll just get a run on Clare and, you know, try and run at them, because the pace, they have the pace on the Clare defence. Frank Lohan has been absolutely brilliant today, and but they're hoping that they'll run at him, draw a few frees, or try and get Henry in a bit of spaces that are there, and he'll do the rest for them.
Still concerned about Brian Lohan. That's why there is a delay here. it looks like Dr. Corey Quinn, I should say, has worked a miracle. And the big man from Shannon goes back in to mind the edge of the square.
Well, you would have to credit Anthony Daly as well, Marty. You know, they've drawn the subs and they've battled from the start of the second half. They've really battled and they threw on the replacements, and you know, it is all hands to the pump now, and they're only a few points down.
4 minutes left in this All-Ireland hurling semi-final. A goal between the teams. And Clare find it within themselves to create the opportunities. Colin Lynch leads it back. First Pat Vaughan. His effort is half blocked. James Ryle is underneath it. Clare chase and pursue. Once again it's Ryle. But he leaves it to Cha Fitzpatrick. Lays it out for his Jackie Tyrrell. Swings it onto his left. Testing ball for Frank Lohan. And it's Kilkenny that have it. They're edging their way a little bit closer. Referee blows the whistle and it is a penalty. It was almost like it was in slow motion there. And Frank Lohan, who's been already booked, may well be spoken to by the referee here. He's already shown a yellow card, but the referee doesn't want to have a word with anybody. He's saying it's a penalty, and that's it.
Well, I was surprised, Martin, that Eddie Brennan just didn't, you know, knock the ball to Richie Power, and you know, it had to be a certain goal, I'd say. But you know, they got probably the next best return, because this eats down a little bit of the clock, and the more protest that Clare make, well, the better Kilkenny will like it, because you know, 3 points out, what would you do? Would you go for a goal, or would you stick it over the bar? Henry Shefflin, very, very experienced, good record from penalties, but you know, in this situation, he might just be tempted to stick it over.
How would you advise him to do?
Well, he's an ex-looker from his demeanour. I'd say he's going to go for it.
Here he comes. Shefflin drives it over the crossbar. That's a goal and 11 points Henry Shefflin has scored out of that 217.
Yeah, he's been excellent, Marty, and you know, he's shown today what a competitive. He's not just a handy player or a sunshine hurler. He's very, very competitive, and he's done great work for Kilkenny all day long.
James Ryle busting his way forward. He's certainly been impressive at right half back. He gives that ball away. Picked up, however, by Richie Power. Good to see Richie back in the action after a long injury. Pumps it into the corner. Frank Lohan and Eddie Brennan here tussle it. Nice skill again by Eddie Brennan. And the referee has blown his whistle here. He's going to have a word, I think, with the Kilkenny man. Or is it Frank Lohan? And Frank Lohan has seen a yellow card already. And there's a second, and there's a red. Clare are down to 14 players. And certainly that pendulum of power and momentum now seems certainly to be swinging down towards the southeast and down towards Kilkenny.
Well, I think Kilkenny saw that you know, that Clare was struggling a little bit. Throw on Richie Power, extra bit of pace, played two inside, and had Eddie Brennan running at the Kilkenny defence, and Frank Lohan, after a yellow card, just a little innocuous enough free, maybe stuck out to Hurley, and you know, he finds himself off, and they're down to 14 men, and this match is gone from Clare.
3 additional minutes in Croke Park. But you certainly feel that now at this stage, as Henry Shefflin adds to his personal tally, it's a goal and 12 points. Remarkable in an All-Ireland semi-final. But look at that scoreboard. It certainly favours Kilkenny. 5-point advantage. It looks like it's going to be Cork versus Kilkenny, a traditional final. As Kilkenny go in pursuit of more scores. There's a chance here for Richie Power, and that's another point. Following in the footsteps of his father, of the same name. Lovely family and great hurlers. And they come again. It's now becoming very rapid firing opportunities, and that's over the bar by Owen Larkin. Their second point.
And that just shows, Marty, when the pressure's off. Owen Larkin missed 2 very simple chances in the first half, couldn't get it, and then one from the sideline there, almost 70 metres out, and stuck it over the bar.
And one has to reflect in that opening half when Clare had 3 goal opportunities, and you just have to take them when you're playing Kilkenny. Once they get the initiative, they just have so much skill. They start to popping the ball over the bar from all angles. And here's one man who can do it continuously. It's King Henry. Back outside. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous if this is over the bar, and it's gone to the left and wide. But look at the stick work, look at the balance. You have to admire it. Ball poked out down towards this side. JJ Delaney is there. But Clare have given it everything, and so has Anthony Daly, and so has these players. And no criticism can be levelled in terms of Brian Lohan and Shawnee McMahon and Colin Lynch. They really have given it everything here. Because in Clare there was certainly criticism of the three boys over the last couple of years. Oh, they were too old and all this. It was rubbish, absolutely, as they showed what wonderful skills they have. And even the Clare man can smile and say, well, it's their 9th All-Ireland semi-final appearance, but unfortunately this is going to end in failure.
That's right, Marty, and the thing about it, I suppose, Anthony, they put on 3 or 4 subs and they tightened things up around the middle for a while, but, you know, inexperience cost them then, because in the last 10 minutes they needed their experienced players to come on, and, you know, they had 4 or 5 substitutes on, all young players, and, you know, Kilkenny got a grip and ran into the fence and made things work.
Cha Fitzpatrick certainly played his heart out, and here comes Eddie Brennan. Martin Comerford is inside, Lohan comes across to try and take care of. The referee has blown his whistle. And it looks like he's going to book Brian Lohan perhaps and give a free in. Let's see what he's going to do here. Yes, he's showing a yellow card to Brian Lohan.
Marty, that's one you know, little criticism of Eddie Brennan. He's had an excellent game, you know, but he had a chance there to part the ball to Martin Comerford, and he could have stuck it away, and you know, a bit earlier maybe another pass to Richie Power, so carries it on a little bit at times, but maybe he feels he's under a bit of pressure and needs to get all the scores he can, because Brian Cody's no ruthless, but I think he has cemented his place for the All-Ireland final, definitely.
Goal in 13 for Henry Shefflin. Kilkenny fans applaud, and rightly so. It's going to be a very interesting All-Ireland hurling final as Cork seek their 3rd All-Ireland in a row, playing their greatest rivals from Kilkenny. Tony Griffin tries to get inside James Ryle. Ryle and Cha Fitzpatrick certainly impressed me here this afternoon. That effort by Tony Griffin goes to the wrong side of the post. For Clare, any words of consolation, Donald O'Grady?
Well, you couldn't fault their effort, Marty, you know, from the word go they turned to Kilkenny, and as you've pointed out, you know, a few times in commentary there, really, they had 3 goal chances. I made it 3 because I counted Alan Markham's chance as well. Niall Gilligan, the ball ran away from him a little bit, but if they got 1 of those or even 2 of those and late at half-time, I think that would have made a big difference to them, but they didn't get the chances. And against Kilkenny, or against any good side, you have to take the goal chances when you get it. But they fought as hard as they could, but really the Kilkenny pace, I think, was the big thing at the end.
It could be pace again here. Stopped, however. And the referee has blown the full-time whistle. It was an intriguing contest up to about the 65th.